Last time we hanged out, we were in a stairwell, but it was in Rome. You want to go all the way to the top? That's pretty high. All right, walking all the way to the top of the stairwell here in Orlando, Florida. I'm with my good friend, longtime friend, Carranzo Meeking. What's up, Carranzo?
What's going on?
We are actually climbing up the stairwell just to find a quiet space to interview. And we're almost to the top. Carranzo and I have traveled the world. We were on tour in a show. What, how long we've been friends now? At least quite a few years now. We're at the roof access. Does this go to the roof? Oh, it's locked. Let's rock and roll. What do you say? So what's up? My name? No, wait. Your name. It's not about me. It's about you. Look at that, all the way down. Man, look at those shoes. Is it ninja style? You sit there, and I'll sit here. Here. You sit a little higher than me. What's up? I'm with Carranzo Meeking, an amazing dancer, an amazing stuntman, and most of all, a talented performer. What is it more that you are? You're a dancer,
I really don't like to put myself in a category.
Yeah.
I like to I'm a free spirit. I'm kind of nomadic, and I like to just be what I am. And I don't like to slap a label on my forehead. I don't want to compartmentalize myself. I just want to do what comes to me and do it the best I can. So I just like to say I'm a performer.
When did you start performing?
Well, I started around about 5 years old, and I used to just sit in the house most of the time. I was a little bit of a shy kid, and I would sit in the house, watch Michael Jackson videos, Janet Jackson. I knew all the choreography. Anytime the videos came on TV, I knew it, and I just did it. But I was scared to do it in front of people. My mom used to push me to do it. She was like, "Oh, come on, baby, come do this, you know." And I was just like, no. But I'm kind of glad she did it, though, because it kind of helped me to break out of my shell. So, yeah, and I've been doing it ever since. But as far as like a dancer and all, I don't have like the formal training like a lot of dancers do it. Oh, I've been training since I was 3 years old. I took jazz, I took ballet, I took tap and all that. Well, I just came from the street.
Yeah.
I was just a hip hop street kid. But I picked up very early at a young age that I can do whatever style I wanted to. I had the natural ability. And a lot of my friends that I went to school with, they took ballet, and we would be on the playground. And they're like, "Oh, look at me, look what we learned." And while they were doing it, I would just sit there and just watch them. I'm like, "Oh, I can do that too." And I would just do it. And just like one time they were trying to brag, like, "Ooh, I can do the splits." And I was just like, "Zoop." And I just went down into the splits. And I was like, "Oh, I can do that too." So, but over the years, I would just see people of like different styles of dance, and I would just do it and just put my all into it. And a lot of times people think I'm this trained dancer when I'm not. It's just, I guess I just have a natural ability for it, which I'm not saying it in an arrogant way. I say it in a confident way. Like, you have to own who you are and own what you have in your natural gift, because you have to believe it in yourself first in order for somebody else to believe it.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I'm not comparing myself to other people. Say, "Oh, I'm better than this dude, I'm better than this girl." I'm just like, I know I'm good within myself.
Okay, I will say it. I've known Carranzo for over, 2 or 3 years. We've toured 25 countries together, and this guy is awesome. He is super talented, great friend of mine. But let's just get right to it. What's up with those crazy eyes?
What's wrong with them?
They look awesome, man. I'm digging it.
Well, some of us are born with it.
So, are you into a lot of different anime and all sorts of stuff like that? I hear you do a lot of Comic-Con, and you've done Dalzim, right? And you were featured in one of their magazines?
Well, it wasn't the magazine. It was on one of their sites or whatever. I saw my picture on there. I posted it to them. Like, "Oh my God, you're like the #1 cosplay on this site and this site and this site."
Show them what they know of the Carranzo Meeking that I know. I mean, this is awesome. Check this out. He does some crazy stuff.
Well, no, one of the poses, like, You balance on your forefoot.
Okay. By the way, I love the ninja shoes.
I know, right? You just kind of sit here at one of these, kind of do all of these poses, and or you can like balance on one foot.
Right.
Just kind of be here, all these crazy.
Awesome.
You know, just.
Right. Very cool, very cool. Now, those who are wondering why we're in a hallway, we're actually staying at a condo here in Orlando, and I found, you know what, there's no many places to do a good interview. So I said, well, this hallway will work perfect. And so that's why we're here. And actually, me and Carranzo have a funny story. We were in Rome, Italy, at the Vatican, and we were seeing the whole city, and we went to this place called Happy Hour or Happy Days or Happy Days, right? And the guy wasn't too happy when we saw him. It was like 10 p.m. and he's like, "We're closed. You guys got to go." And that was the only hostel open. And it was at this like hallway inside the building.
Yeah.
And it was late at night. It was starting to rain. I'm like, "Hey man, instead of us walking down these stairs, let's just crash here." And we're like, "I don't know, man." But you know what? We just started talking, and I was like, after 20 minutes, we both crashed. We wake up at 5 a.m. We're like, "Oh my gosh, we just crashed right here in the stairwell." And we rush down, and we go to like some small coffee shop.
Yeah.
We wake up, and then we're seeing all these people, like all these Brazilians. We're like, "What are they doing here?" You know, I thought they're only, in Orlando in the theme parks at Universal or Disney. And we're like, man, something's going on. And we're right next to the Vatican. So we go over to the Vatican, and it's the Pope.
Yeah.
Out of all the times we're in Rome, we see the Pope. How cool is that, man?
Yeah,
We've done some crazy stuff. Went all over Japan, and it's been a wild, amazing time. Tell me about that. How has your travels of performing been? What's it like traveling and seeing the world? What do you like about traveling?
Well, one of the things I've always wanted to do since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to travel and perform. And with that opportunity, I did that. I mean, I love all cultures, and I've studied a lot of languages myself.
Mm-hmm.
So just being in a different culture and learning the history of it, where it started, really was cool. I love Japan, just for example, because I just love the culture. They're very hospitable. I love like anime, video games, martial arts stuff, and it was just like perfect for me, and I just loved everything about it. And another highlight for me, I would say, was Brazil, because the culture as well, food and all that stuff. But I would have to say the big highlight from Brazil for me was when we were in Salvador, and I was walking down the street going to Paulinho.
Right.
For those who don't know, Paulinho is the place where Michael Jackson shot his music video for. They don't really care about us.
They don't really care about us.
But yeah, on the way there, we came across some capoeira masters. And capoeira has always been a big thing for me because I've been doing it since I was a kid.
Right.
So to do it in Salvador, where it originated, with some legit capoeira masters was really cool. And the funny thing was, when we walked up to the little circle where they were doing it in the street, the tallest capoeira guy, he was about like 6'5".
Yeah.
Before we even got to the circle, he went through the crowd, grabbed me by the arm, and pulled me into the circle.
Wow.
It's almost like he knew that I could do it.
Well, listen, you're a very talented acrobat, and you have a lot of capoeira kind of moves when you actually are on stage. So I can see him like, okay, yeah, this guy is part of the show.
To him, I'm just some Joe Schmo from God knows where.
Louisiana, right?
Yeah.
Where in Louisiana were you born?
Well, originally I'm from Farmerville. Farmerville is a small town in northeast Louisiana. Like I said, I was just some Joe Schmo from anywhere. And he pulled me in. He proceeded to go down into the Jenga, which is the little beginning thing that they do.
Cool, man.
Get into the
So he pulled you in, and he was like, hey, he saw you, right?
Yeah.
Automatically, he was like, okay, I want this guy part of my show.
Yeah.
So what was it like being part of the capoeira show?
It was really cool because I think I don't know if he felt like he saw something in me or whatever, but I don't think he expected that I knew already how to do capoeira. Because when he went down into the Jenga and started like doing it, I went right into it with him, and then the other master's like, oh, you know it? So that's when he started like doing the kicks and stuff, and I was doing it right along with him. So when he went down for a low kick, I did a complete like aerial like over him,
Nice.
and
Yeah.
it was just like, and then everybody that was standing around, it was like, oh.
Tell you, man, Nightcrawler.
And so, I mean, there's a picture even on Facebook of me in midair, like
Cool.
flipping over this guy. I think Jihan called it.
Nice.
Jihan is our friend from Turkey.
Yeah. So tell me this. So you're from Louisiana.
Yes.
Go back to that.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in Louisiana?
I mean, for me, I call myself a bayou boy, you know, little boy raised in the bayou. I love the fact that I'm from Louisiana. I mean, I know a lot of people take pride in their culture and where they're from. I mean, especially me. And I let people know I am Creole. And there's that stereotype that Creole people are lighter skin complected. They have like hazel eyes. They have finer grain of hair. You wouldn't look at someone like me and think, oh, he's a Creole guy.
Mm-hmm.
Creole, what people need to understand, Creole in Louisiana culture, the origin of the word, it means mixture. And it's a mixture of African, French, and Native American.
Mm.
And I'm all those. So yeah, I'm a Creole bayou boy, you know. But yeah, I love my culture of Louisiana. I love the food, the music, jazz,
Soul food, right?
Jazz, the
Yeah.
blues, Zydeco, jambalaya, etouffee, all that stuff, you know.
Man, you're making me hungry.
I
It was fun hanging out in New Orleans, man. People are great.
Yeah, that's like.
We watched that one video and the people dancing in the street. What's the name of that kind of music that they played? Was it Zydeco? Is that what they were playing?
Yeah, Zydeco.
And they were just going crazy. Like the garbage man, everybody in the streets just having a great time.
That's it. That's
super
the
cool.
Like everybody, people come out of the shops, people in the streets, garbage man, they just come out in the streets and just dance. I mean, because there's musicians everywhere. Like if you go to New Orleans, like there's musicians like everywhere, just in the streets every single day.
How is the New Orleans style, or just being in Louisiana and growing up with that, culture helped you in your performing?
I mean, it definitely just helped me break out of my shell. Because like I said, I've been dancing since I was a little kid, but I didn't have the courage to dance in front of a crowd until I was 17 years old in the high school talent show. But I had been doing music since I was 10.
Wow, cool.
And like I told you before, when all the kids would go out for recess, I would stay in the band room and I would play with every instrument in that band room because I wanted to learn every instrument in that band.
How many instruments do you know?
Well, a lot of instruments I haven't played in a while, but by the time I hit 9th grade in high school, I would say about 13.
13 different instruments.
Yeah, and it was self-taught. I taught myself each one of those instruments because, like I said, while all the kids are out there playing on the playground, I was in the band room.
All I knew is that you played, amazing clarinet. Like you're doing that.
Yeah.
We're doing it on tour, and you're just go backstage and just play that.
Yeah.
What other instruments did you like playing?
I mean, I just found an enjoyment in all of those. I played the flute, the clarinet, the oboe, E flat, B flat, alto, and bass clarinets, alto and tenor saxophone, trumpet, French horn, played around the baritone before, and in marching band I would play the trombone and tuba.
Nice. So you're playing treble clef and bass clef and learn all the different.
Yeah.
And you were also drum major, right?
Yeah. For marching band, I had to be in front of the band, doing with the mace and doing the commands, the whistles, all that stuff.
Yeah. And by the way, this is a Louisiana band, okay? So those of you that don't know about Louisiana bands, those drum majors can get down. They're gonna have some fun. They're dancing.
Yeah.
So I think you got a lot of your dance, moves from that as well.
It's part of the culture, and it's like, well, what I did is that the high school that I went to, they did play a lot of like traditional stuff. And oh, by the way, I was like the first freshman drum major of my high school ever. And I pissed off a lot of juniors and seniors because they're like, how does freshman come up in here? How did he become drum major? And it was like, well, if he has the skill set, why not? So I was drum major all 4 years of high school.
What made you want to be drum major? Was there something inside you that was like, I want to kind of be a leader?
I always felt like I had something to give to people, especially when it came to performing. That's why I love performing so much, because I feel like through performance, you can give so much of yourself. and you can inspire people, which is what I always wanted to do. I just want to inspire.
That's cool, man. Awesome.
I would ask the student body, like my classmates and all that, and I was like, well, what do y'all want to hear us play during the football games? And of course, they would say all the popular rap songs, pop songs, R&B songs. Like, oh, yeah, play that Master P. Oh, play that this, and play Brandy, and play Monica, and play all this other stuff. And so what I would do, I would take my clarinet home, listen to the radio, like the top 10 hot songs at the time. I would listen to it, play it by ear on my clarinet. Then I would write the music notation out on the music staff. I would play each part on the staff, my instrument, write it out, but then I would have to transpose it. Transpose it means like each instrument is in a different key. So you have to change it from that instrument to this instrument in order for it to be in key. So, but yeah, I had to transpose different parts for each instrument. And so when I did that, I wrote it out, took it to school, taught it to the band, and then that following football game, we would play like the popular music. And so everybody's like, oh my God, like, I can't believe it. You know, it will really get everybody riled up.
Wow, man.
In a good way, you know, so. But it was good. And like I said, by the time I hit my junior year of high school, everybody started calling me the music man, because that's what I was known for. I mean, first they were scared of me. They were terrified of me, because I wore all black, had white contact lenses.
You're still wearing black, and you still got contact lenses.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it.
Well, so tell me why? Why do that? Is there an inner Darth Maul, or is there an inner like dark side part of you?
Since I was a kid, I've always been fascinated with death.
I think that's pretty cool, man.
I actually told my Louisiana history teacher that, and I told her, because we were doing some project, and she was like, pick what color you want, and I was like, I want to choose black, because I think about death a lot. And she was like, that's not good.
Listen, my favorite colors are black and red, and I think they're pretty cool too. You know?
I was just like, but people take a negative aspect of death. I look at it as a way of appreciating life, because you don't know when death is going to happen. I was 4 years old. I would walk in cemeteries by myself and read the headstones and imagine what this person was like when they were living. So it gave me an understanding of life in general. That's why I was wearing the black all the time. And I had my nails were literally this long. They were like 1.5 inches long. And I had the white lenses. I wore a long black trench coat. I had snakeskin cowboy boots. Yeah. People were terrified of me. They used to call me Satan, devil worshiper, evil, all kind of shit. But like I said, by the time I hit junior year of high school, people seen that I was all right. They was like, you all right. You're not the scary guy I thought you were. So they started calling me the music man. But flash forward to the talent show. People's like, oh shit, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna get in front of the school and sacrifice a fucking lamb or something? Excuse my language.
It's all good.
Me, they thought I was gonna sacrifice a lamb on an altar in front of the school, you know. But when I got up there, I danced for the first time in front of a big audience. I had just turned 17, and it was 2001, and I danced to Aaliyah. We Need a Resolution. Aaliyah was a major, major inspiration. I danced to her because she was a major influence on me. Because she was kind of smooth, she was kind of chill, laid back, but she was also fascinated by dark things. And that's why I was so drawn to her and her music and her style. And she just stood out. And the reason why I danced to her song, We Need a Resolution, because she had just passed away. And I wanted to do it in remembrance of Aaliyah. And
that's nice.
But after I did that, after I danced in the talent show, even though I didn't win, I got the best audience response, and everybody started calling me the dancing man.
That's awesome.
The music
That's
man.
awesome. Man.
So
how'd that feel like, just to get that?
I mean, it was good, but it was like, it just shows like you are in control of your destiny. I mean, I know it sounds cheesy, corny, but if people, I mean, you're not going to change everybody's mind about you. So that's why I say you got to own who you are, be who you are, and not worry about what other people are going to say, because everybody's not going to be on your side, regardless of what you do or say. But you can change the perception of who you are. You can show people you are a great person. You're not this crazy, dark, twisted guy, which I am.
And what kind of characters do you like to do? I know you like to do all these crazy types of characters when you're doing your shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Is there some style that you feel is best of who you are?
I just like things that are just kind of weird.
Perfect.
Out there.
Me
Twisted,
too.
Things that are not considered normal.
Right. Okay, what is normal, really? You know what I mean? If it ain't cool, if it ain't weird, if it ain't crazy, it's not fun. Have fun, right? We're here to have fun. The audience is having fun.
Yeah.
So what kind of crazy, weird things do you like to do on stage?
I like to move my body in ways where people just like, oh shit.
Show them your really cool hand wave. You've showed me that. That's pretty crazy.
It's nothing, man. I mean,
Check this out.
it's like, and I just kind of bring it. It's almost like a wave that you just kind of start.
Do it from the side here.
Like,
There you go.
yeah, you just kind of like.
Let's go to that. Your essence of how you control your body when you're dancing. Those who are watching this as dancers.
Yeah.
What kind of advice would you give to someone who's dancing?
From a technical standpoint, I can't be like, oh, here's the technique, because like I said, I've never taken a ballet class in my life, but a lot of times the different styles of dance that I've had to do for different shows, you may need ballet technique, but even though I've never took a ballet class, I can still do times where I would partner with a girl for like certain style of dancing, and the way I move and carry myself, people are like, oh my God, your arms are so great, your lines are beautiful, and how much training have you had? I'm like,
Because you told me something great the other day. You said most people look at dancing 5, 6, 7, 8, and they count things out.
Right.
But for you feel it. And like Michael Jackson, you said that was a big influence for you. And I think a lot of that has to do with also your culture. You grew up in Louisiana. As young kids, music just was part of your culture, part of your life. And it's just something that you just have to feel it. And I'm all about that, When you see someone great on stage, they have the it factor, right? Yes. They got it. I can see he has it. Instead of someone trying to be that person, right? Yes. So do you feel that somewhat where you're at, where you feel like, I didn't have these, teachings or lessons of the way I grew up.
Yeah.
But as for advice for someone, would you recommend them just to kind of feel it, just put on your favorite music and just feel something where you feel, okay, this is how my body moves and this is the way, do you think that's the best way to approach it?
yeah, I mean, that's actually a good way to put it. Because I feel like I've been around many different dancers of all backgrounds. I've been around tappers, I've been around jazz, I've been around contemporary, modern, however you want to describe it, ballet, hip hop, Bollywood. And a lot of times I notice when I go to auditions with dancers, they rely too much upon their technique, which I'm not bashing technique whatsoever. But it's like, in the dance world, it always seems like sometimes the street kids are always battling against the stage kids. And what that means is a stage kid in the dancer world are kids who had those ballet lessons, jazz lessons. They've been training since they were 3 years old. So they have all this technique up underneath them. And a street kid is a kid, basically, who didn't have all that. They didn't have the money, they didn't have the transportation. Nor did they have the opportunity to have all those classes. So you think you can dance? I think it's pretty cool. They had that season where they had stage versus the street. They had stage dancers, they had street dancers, and they had them cross genres sometimes. But to me, a true dancer is someone who can just do it all. Like regardless of what kind of dance it is, like if you teach it to them, they can adapt and they can perform it well. I mean, of course, if you're a technician, you're still going to point out the little flaws and this and that. But I feel like, like I told you the other day, when I'm watching people dance and perform of any aspect, I'd rather watch someone who have little to no technique, but they got the passion of a lion, than to watch someone who has all the technique in the world. They have beautiful leaps, kicks, jumps, spins, all that is perfect. But you can see it in their face and in their body movement that they're not passionate
Right.
about it. I don't like watching people like that.
You know what? I really respect that, and I respect you because when I see you on stage, it feels like you're always giving 110%. You know, you never have a day off. I remember on tour and I was traveling with you. You know, even at times you come back, you know, we would go to the hotel or whatever and hang out, and I'd see you after the show, and you were like, "Oh man, that was crazy, 3-show day." But you'd still be like, "You know what? The next day, you just give it a full 110%." And I'm all about that. You're all about that. And what do you feel like how people should be on stage? What's a good advice for mindset to keep always it fresh? You know, because you're doing, you know, over 500 shows in a tour.
Understanding the world of performing, whether you're a theater person locally or whether you're a celebrity, it doesn't matter. Sometimes it can get monotonous, it can get tiring because it's the same thing over and over again. But when you love to perform, you have to understand that this may be your 400th, 500th time doing this show, but you have to understand that audience, this is their first, last, and only time seeing this. So it is up to you as a performer to give them the best show that you possibly can, because if you're not going to do that, if you're going to half-ass your choreography, then you don't need to be there. You don't need to be there. Like, those people are looking for an escape from reality. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what their family may be going through. They could have someone who just died in war, or these poor kids could have just come from like an abusive family home or whatever. Or I don't know, some of these foreign guests, like they could be coming from war-torn countries where they were oppressed by their government. I don't know. Stories after stories after stories. So it is up to us as performers to be storytellers.
Right.
That's my thing. Performers are storytellers. And if you are not telling your story, then you do not need to be on that stage.
Right.
Point blank, period. Whether you're a singer, dancer, actor, juggler, whatever, if you are not telling your story, then you need to get the hell off the stage.
What do you do to condition yourself?
Well, I know when I'm at home, and sometimes I have my days where I'm just kind of sitting there. Sometimes I just get a little, my energy just start going. So I just get up and I just start playing music and I just start dancing around the house. Like, I don't go to the gym, I don't work out, I don't have like a diet regimen or whatever. I mean, I do watch what I eat, you know.
You're a dance machine, man. You're out there. I see you sometimes. You just put the headphones on and just go out. You think that's important, though? As a professional, you think it's like you should always feel the music and you always should have music with you. Yeah. You always have your headphones on. You think that's important to always keep training, live it, you know, just every day you should always keep it up?
That's what works for me. It's different for everybody, you know. Well, for one, I carry my earphones with me everywhere because it's my way of blocking out the unnecessary drama. Because let's be real, when you're around a bunch of performers, a bunch of theater people, a bunch of dancers who want to be the center of attention, it can get pretty dramatic sometimes. So I have my earphones in because it's my way of like blocking all of that out. So when I do get on stage, I can continue to be the best performer I can be and not let their BS get inside of my head.
Do you have any like cool little things you do? Some people, you know, take a deep breath. Some people yawn before they go on stage. Some people clap their hands. Is there something that you say to yourself before you go on stage all the time to kind of get yourself, you know, oh man, it's been the 500th show, but this is, you know, some people even, I know a friend of mine, he says, I love my audience, and then goes on stage. You know, there's always these rituals. Back in the day, this guy, Francis Bruin, he would eat a lemon just before he went on stage because it would help him clear his throat so he can breathe better. You know, stuff like that. Yeah. Anything for you?
Just get in the mindset of, here's another show, here's a different audience. Right. I'm the storyteller, now get out there and tell your story.
Yeah.
I just kind of get in that mindset.
I feel like when I watch you on stage, man, you really bring it. You know, you bring it 110%. Every show.
You should.
And your mind is like, I'm going to get out there. I'm just going to show them.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I always keep my energy up. Like, I'm never just like, oh, hey, y'all, you know. Because, like, I mean, you see me out people, I'm just like.
Yeah, you're in your own world.
Or I just do this, or, you know.
Right.
I just throw up my little hands signals or whatever, just keep walking, just be in my own world. But when I'm on stage, because people are still thrown by this. Like now, I'm doing Mardi Gras at Universal.
Okay.
As people, you probably see the glitter on my face.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that. But okay, cool. Right on.
Yes, I'm doing Mardi Gras at Universal Studios.
Nice.
It's a taste of home for me, you know. But yeah, it's like when I'm out there, before we do parade, we go out there and we intermingle with the guests with our cool costumes and all that. And people are like, oh my God, you're so good, you're so energetic, you're very engaging with the people. You kneel down when you talk to kids and you get on their level and you keep a smile on your face and you're so energetic. But when you go backstage, you're in your corner and you're just kind of like, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's the reason behind that? What, just something you could just always wear when you were a kid?
Yeah.
You were kind of more just kicked back and...
Yeah, it's the fact of, like I said, when I was a kid, I was very shy and I was very reclusive. That's just my nature. But it doesn't mean I can't have fun. That's why they say, don't underestimate the quiet guy. Yeah, because sometimes people think, oh, he's quiet, he doesn't say much, he doesn't talk much, he must be boring. You don't know my life. I've done a lot of cool stuff. But yeah, I do like to have fun, and I'm also a big kid.
Right.
That's something a lot of people don't know about.
Well, let's talk about that. So what kind of crazy stuff have you done in the past? I know you did a lot of cool Comic-Con characters. You did Dalzim.
Cosplay.
You did some cosplay stuff.
Panther,
You did Kratos, is that right?
Yeah, Kratos is my first cosplay.
Super cool, man.
Yeah.
How was that? It's Kratos. Because I gotta say, I mean, let's just say it right now. The first thing everyone's still probably saying to themselves, that voice.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What do people say when they first, they see you and then you start talking? What's the reaction?
Yeah, I've thrown a lot of people off because they expect me to be this big guy. I'm only 5'10".
Right. I remember I talked to you on the phone or something when I first didn't, I remember seeing you, but then later on I remember like, oh, I'm gonna call Carranzo. So I talked to you on the phone and I was like, man, you do not look like how you sound on the phone.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, man, I'll be right there, like, yeah, man, I'll be cool. All right, we're on. It's like, Barry White, watch out.
Oh, God.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
The women will love you, man. That's awesome.
People have said Barry White, Lou Rawls, James Earl Jones, or Mufasa, or
Right.
Darth Vader, Melvin Franklin from The Temptations.
Nice.
Just, I don't know, every deep voice person.
How long have you had that voice?
Since
When did that start?
Since I was 9 years old.
Since you were 9 years old.
Yeah.
So you're this 9-year-old kid with this deep voice. What'd your mom think about that?
See, this is how it went down. It literally happened overnight. No, I kid you not. It literally happened overnight. One day I was sounding like a little kid, like a little boy. I went to sleep one night, woke up the next day. This came out.
Wow.
Because with most guys, when they go through the stage of having the cracky voice, and
Right.
it's squeaking, it's cracking, and all that. I didn't have that. I was a little boy one day, woke up the next day, I'm a full-grown ass man. And it was weird coming from a little 9-year-old kid with a voice of a man. So
Yeah.
I remember walking into the kitchen, getting ready for school, and my mom was kind of fixing us breakfast. And she was like, she was like, hey babe, you want some cereal? I just nodded my head, I didn't say anything, because I was thinking in my head, what the hell is wrong with me? Why is my voice like this? And so she was like, do you want scrambled eggs or do you want me to boil the eggs? And she was just asking all this. She was like, you want some bacon? I was like, she was like, why you? She's like, well, what's wrong with you? She was like, why you ain't talking? Like, something wrong with your voice? I was like, no. And she was like, she just looked at me for about like 5 seconds, and she was like, and she was like, oh, this didn't happen. She was like, oh, I know what that means. I know what's coming now. She was like, and then she just went on about her business from there.
Yeah. What's it like having that deep voice, man, growing up, and then
I mean,
what do people say when they first hear you?
to be honest, like I was very insecure about it for a long time.
Really?
I'm still a little reserved about it.
Oh man, dude, you should do some voiceovers.
I mean, yeah, I'm definitely trying to get into that.
Really?
I mean, I've done some stuff.
That's what I'm talking about.
I've been a narrator.
I can't wait to go to the movies and I hear your voice. It's gonna be awesome.
That would be cool. But I've been a narrator for like different Christmas programs. I've been like a host.
Right,
of a show.
right. That's right. I was gonna say that you were an actor as well. You
Yeah.
are now doing actings. You said you did some. There's a huge production that you've been doing with the church, and you've been doing stuff for some, some films.
Yeah, I've been.
How is that acting and with the voice and everything, voiceovers? How's that going?
I mean, it's pretty cool. I'm getting like little things here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, for the past almost 10 years, I've been more just doing dancing stuff, hence working for the theme parks and all that, and doing the tour. But now I'm at a stage where I want to focus more on like acting and stuff.
Weren't you a vampire for some Twilight series? What's his name?
Laurent.
There he is. Laurent.
Shout out to the Olympic Coven. They're like the acting troupe.
Cool.
That does
Okay,
this.
cool.
Well, this is how it went.
I'll try to put like a description or a link on the description below so they can see some of your stuff. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Ever since I was a kid, I've always been fascinated with vampires.
Really? Why?
Plus, being from Louisiana, that's kind of part of my culture.
Cool.
Anne Rice.
Cool.
She's the one that wrote the Vampire Chronicles.
Right.
Interview with the Vampire, Queen of the Damned, the Vampire Lestat, Tale of the Body Thief.
Right.
That whole nine.
Hello, my name's Lucian.
I mean,
Everyone talks about the underworld, right?
Yeah.
So I've been part of it too, man. I love it. That's awesome.
I mean, but
Cool.
like I said,
All right.
Since I was a kid, I've always loved vampires. I always loved werewolves. But I was never into the whole Twilight thing because I was like, okay, it's a little teen romance, heartthrob kind of stuff. Well, anyway, at first I just kind of rolled my eyes to it, and I was more underworld. That was more my style, or Interview with the Vampire, or Queen of the Damned. That was more my style of vampire.
By the way, how old are you? You're like 3,000 years old, 5,000 years old? I forgot.
200.
Yeah, you're a little baby vampire. Okay, so you like those vampire movies, right on, and you got into acting through this Twilight series?
This is how the Twilight thing happened. Well, a couple of years ago when the first film of Breaking Dawn came out, some friends of mine, they said, oh, Carranzo, please dress up as Laurent and come to the movie premiere with us because we're going to be dressed up in our shirts and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, you want me to what? I was like, I'm not into Twilight. And it was like, oh, just do it for us. I was like, okay, I'll do it for y'all. I love y'all. Y'all are my friends. So I did it. And when I went to the movie theaters, people were running to me to take a picture with me. And somehow a picture of me as Laurent got to a mutual friend of mine who was doing the Twilight event in Forks, Washington.
Wow.
Where the Twilight.
Didn't you get on TV and they were interviewing you and a lot of people were like mistaken or... wow, that's cool.
This is how that happened. Well, since my friend who was portraying Jasper from Twilight for this event in the Olympic Coven, he sent the people who were over it this picture of me, and he was like, how can we get him? We need him up here as Laurent. So for about 2 years, they were trying to get me to come do the event. And plus, we were on tour. So that's why I couldn't do it. The first year, they asked me to come. And then the second time they asked me to come, I was like, well, I'll be just coming back from Japan, and I'll only have like 5 days to get ready if we're going to do this event. So Jack Morrissey, who's kind of over it, big shout out to Jack. He's also the partner of Bill Condon. Bill Condon directed one of the Twilight films, and he's also over the adaptation of Beauty and the Beast that's getting ready to come out. But Jack and Miss Lizzie and all the people up there that's kind of over the whole Forks thing in Twilight, up there in Forks, Washington, got me in. I did the event, met people from the film.
Cool.
People from all over the world, big fans and all that. And it just gave me a greater respect. I did meet Stephanie Meyer, who's the author of Twilight. She was really sweet. She was really cool. And everybody was just so cool. And it just they told me their stories,
Mm-hmm.
how Twilight plays a part in their life. And
Right.
some of these stories are amazing. Like, oh my God, I was fighting cancer and
Yeah.
this, that, and all that other. And Twilight, the whole Twilight world helped me this, and this. And hearing stuff like that made me give more respect to Twilight. Because I was like, okay, it's more than just a teeny bopper film.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it means something to a lot of people.
Right.
And so I did it that first year, and the FX movie channel, big shout out to FX movie channel, they came, they were filming the event, and the host, their names, Sasha and Adam, they was like, we love your voice, we gotta interview you. So during the little prom sequence, at the end of the night, they got me on camera, and it was on the FX channel. And so my friends were like messaging me like, oh my God, we saw you on TV.
Yeah,
we
man.
saw you on TV. And they're like
Cool.
freaking out. And so
That's awesome.
I mean, it was a cool event. And then I did it again this past year. Because each year they celebrate a different film, a different
Right.
book. And this past year they were celebrating New Moon.
Right.
And those who know, the vampire Laurent, he dies in New Moon. He gets killed by the werewolves.
Ah, bummer.
So I'm dead. But I'm a vampire, I'm already dead. Yeah, like I said, that was a whole cool event. So once again, shout out to Olympic Coven, shout out to Stephanie Meyer, Jack Morrissey, Miss Lizzie, all the Twihards out there, you know.
Cool, man.
But that's how that happened.
Well, I gotta say, man, you are definitely have a variety of talents. You've done acting, you've done dancing, you've done all these things. What kind of advice do you give to people who are watching this that want to try? Do you feel like it's possible to go into acting and still be a dancer and still do all these things that you're doing now? What kind of advice would you give them?
I mean, if it's something you really want, and if it's something that's really within you, just do it. Just go for it.
Awesome.
I mean, it's not going to be easy. Don't expect it to be easy. Don't expect somebody to just hand it to you and be like, oh, here it is. Oh, man, go have fun. Go be rich. Go be famous. No. You are definitely going to go on a roller coaster ride. You're going to have a lot of people tell you, you're not tall enough. You're not short enough. You're too fat. You're too skinny. You're too dark. You're not ghetto enough. You're not this. You're not talented enough. You don't have enough technique. And that's all right. Just take it and keep going. Like I said, if it's something you really want to do, you gotta keep pushing, and it'll pay off. You just gotta be diligent and just keep going for it.
Very cool. Last thing, what has being a performer, traveling the world, being a dancer, being an actor, what has it done for you? What has it given to you?
Well, when it comes to traveling, you learn so much about yourself. You learn so much about the world that, there are other cultures, there are other musics, there are other ways of life out there that we can learn from. We don't all know it all individually. We learn more from each other. And it's always good to travel, meet different people. And like I said, you learn so much about yourself because you're being put in situations that really test your character.
Have you had any crazy stories?
I wouldn't say crazy, but it was just an eye-opening experience for me. When I was 21, I lived in Ukraine. Back in 2007, I was on a mission trip doing mission work. And we did with like an orphanage and like a camp for kids. We were building things. We were dealing with like homeless people and all that kind of stuff. And in that culture, there aren't many, if not at all, a lot of black people. So a lot of those people in Ukraine that I came across, they never saw a black person before. I mean, they know we exist.
Right.
But they see us like on TV, in magazines, but they never saw one.
What was
our
that?
group, the group that I was with, I was in college at the
Right.
time. I was the only black guy. So there wasn't another black person that I can like relate to in this situation. I was kind of on that branch on my own. But I was like the first black person that a lot of these Ukrainians like seen. And everywhere I go, people wanted to like take pictures with me. They wanted to touch my skin. They wanted to touch my hair. I had a goatee at the time. They wanted to they were just fascinated. And it wasn't from a negative place. It was just, they were just fascinated.
We had that same thing in Japan, man. We got out of the airport, and the first thing, people just went right up to you and were like, hey, are you a basketball player? Hey, are you?
Yeah,
And they loved you, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Exactly. One night, we were in the little kitchen area in the little church. I was in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
We were in Alexandria. That was the name of the city. This little 3-year-old Ukrainian girl walked up to me. She started doing this to my arm. And I just looked at her and I smiled. And she said something to me in Russian. And I asked our translator, I was like, what did she say? She said that the little girl said, his skin is beautiful and dark like the night sky, because it was dark outside. I'm not really an emotional guy, but that definitely brought tears to my eyes.
Wow.
I was like, this is coming from a little 3-year-old innocent little girl who, in a culture that never really has much exposure to black people, saying something like this. And coming from the country that we're in, let's be real, a country that has definitely oppressed black people for being who they are because of the color of our skin, saying that just because we're dark skinned that we're not worthy, we're not human, you know. So to hear something like that, and which I know everybody isn't that way, but you know, yeah, that was like one of the most amazing experiences.
That's a very pure thing for someone to say at that age. That's amazing. That's great.
Yeah, it was
awesome.
Really cool. It was really cool. So that was definitely a standout.
Wow.
I will also say in Japan,
Yeah.
I was going to the little Peace Pagoda that was on top of a hill. I forgot what city we were in. And I was using this little Japanese I knew. This little lady, I swear she was like 80, 90 years old. She grabbed my hand, walked me all the way down. She left her flower shop and walked me all the way down the street. She walked me like a couple of blocks. And I was like, no, it's okay. It's okay, no.
Yeah.
And she
Oh, man.
grabbed my hand. So here I am.
That's great.
The old 80-year-old Japanese lady pulling this tall, skinny black dude down the street. And people just like looking out the window like, what's going on here? And then once she stopped, she pointed up and I was at the foot of the mountain where the Peace Pagoda was. And she was like,
yeah,
kind of bowed to me and she walked away. And that stuff like that shows that there are great people in the world. Yeah, there's a lot of BS going on. There's war, there's hunger, there's racism and all this stuff. It just shows regardless of how bad it gets, there are great people in the world. Yes, there are still people out there who care. So to round it out, as performers like you and I, we should care about doing what we do and giving that compassion to those audiences.
Absolutely.
Because you don't know where they come from. You don't know what they've been through. So to kind of round that whole thing out.
So you believe that performing is giving you the gift to give to others?
Absolutely.
And showcase what your love is for it to give to them.
Yeah. And a lot of times...
Give them the much as love as you love on performing on stage, to show that each time you're on stage to them.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I feel like a lot of us have those gifts, because it's for us to give to the world, to inspire, you know. Because at the end, to go back to Aaliyah, when it was funny, she said this like a week before she died. She was on the MTV Diary, where it kind of follows the artist around, you know, doing their tour and all this kind of stuff. And she was like, even when she's not here, when she's long gone, you know, passed away and all, she was like, she wants to be remembered as a full-on entertainer, a person that can do it all, acting, singing, dancing, and she was doing that. She was doing it all. And that's what inspires me to just be whatever. I'm gonna perform, I wanna do it all. Musician, dance, act, stunt, whatever. And she was like, I wanna be remembered as a full-on entertainer, but overall, a good person. And that's exactly what I want to be. Like, people tell me now, like, how much I've inspired them as a performer. And I'm like, really?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you this, Carranzo, you've definitely inspired me as a performer. You've been a great friend, a great person to be on tour with, a great person to talk to. You're very inspirational, and you're very good at motivating people to do things and go out and strive and live your dream and be an awesome performer. If you have something you love, just go out and do it. So those of you out there, get out there and do what you love, and then give it to the world as a gift. Something from you to them, to everyone else, right? So Carranzo, thank you very much for the interview. I really appreciate it. I'll put the couple links that you had in the description below. And thanks, man. You're the best. Check him out, Carranzo Meeking. Awesome. That's it. That's it. That was it. So that was a good interview, right? And we want to add more. We can add more. But that was an hour, so I mean, that's probably the longest. This is the longest interview we've done, so that's crazy. So there you have it, Carranzo Meeking. Thanks for sharing, man. I really appreciate it. Go check him out.